Hello, good morning, students. So, as all of you know, right now in your EVS chapter number 16, who will do this work? It is going on. Today, I will say about a very interesting story and which is also mentioned in your book, page number 151. Remembering those days. Remembering those days. So it is the story of Gandhiji, and very interesting story it is. So listen to me carefully. When Narayan, nickname is Babla, was about 11 years old, he was staying in Gandhiji's Sabarmati ashram. So, a young child or a young boy at the age of 11 years old, and his nickname was Babla, he was staying in Gandhiji's Sabarmati ashram. Like everyone else in the ashram, he had to do various kinds of work. So, like every others or everyone else in the ashram, like them, he had to do various kinds of work. One of his jobs was to teach the guests how to clean the toilets. So, it was one of the work he was doing very nicely. In those days, the toilets were not what we know today. So earlier days, entire system was totally different. Basically, this toilet, this sanitation, these kind of things were entirely different earlier days. There used to be holes under which baskets were kept. So actually from the top, if you will see properly, it was the hole and under which baskets were kept. People sat on the holes. Later the baskets had to be lifted by hand to be emptied. So whenever you will do the thing, whatever you are doing at your home, after doing it, your toilet and other excreta you have to clean by your own hand. So you have to keep that basket, or you have to hold that basket with your own hand and you have to clean it. It was the system in that time, means in those earlier days. It was the usual practice that people from a particular community would do this work. So basically, in that time, few people were belonging to that particular category or community. They were used to do this work. But in Gandhiji's ashram, every person had to carry the basket to the compost pit and empty it there. So, in the other villages, the people were selected from that category. They were doing this kind of work. But in Gandhiji's ashram, there were no specific category of people who will do their work or who will do this type of things. Like this type of people were not there. Actually, who will do their own thing in the morning or any time, they have to clean their own thing with their own hand. And this was the practice, or you can say the system, in Gandhiji's Sabarmati ashram. No one was excused from this task. Actually, no one can say, I cannot do my one, or I cannot empty my one. No one was excused from this task in that ashram, not even the guests also. Narayan Bhai remembers how some people used to try and avoid this work. So Narayan Bhai remembers like this way how some people used to try and avoid this work. Some even left the ashram because of this. Those who cannot do these things means those who cannot do their own like this means those who cannot clean their own thing or own excreta, so they leave or they left the ashram in that moment also. Some years later, Gandhiji went to stay at a village near Wardha in Maharashtra. Gandhiji, Madhav Bhai and others started to clean the toilets in the village. So after few years or some years later, Gandhiji went to stay at a village near Wardha in Maharashtra. So Gandhiji, Madhav Bhai and others started to clean the toilets in the village. Like nowadays we are doing Swachha Bharat, similar type of thing. It was a concept of Gandhiji. They did this for some months. So this kind of things or practice they have done for few months. One morning a man coming from the toilet saw Madhav Bhai. He pointed to him and said, "There is a lot of dirt over there. Go and clean that." So one day morning a man was coming from the toilet and saw Madhav Bhai suddenly in the path. He pointed to him and said, "There is a lot of dirt over there. You go there and clean that." This way instructed. When Babla saw this, he was very angry. Babla means Narayan. Already I have mentioned. Babla was a nickname. So suddenly when Babla followed this, that someone is instructing Madhav Bhai in such a way or in such a manner, that moment he became angry. He thought the villagers felt that this was not their work. So actually watching in such a way, in such a manner that someone is instructing Madhav Bhai, this way he felt angry. Not only that, he thought in such a way the villagers felt that this was not their work. They will not clean their own thing or own dirt. This was for Gandhiji and his team to do only, as they have done for few weeks or few months. So it does not mean that this work will be done by them only. This was the practice or this was the demonstration they have shown to the local village peoples that they can do in near future for their own purpose, but they have not learned from these things. They have enjoyed or they have thought this is the work, this will be done by only Madhav Bhai, Babla and Gandhiji only. Villagers do not have any kind of responsibility for doing this work. So after thinking in such a way, Babla became very, very angry. This was the Gandhiji and his team to do work. Already mentioned, they have means villagers are thinking in such a way. He asked Gandhiji why this was so. Gandhiji replied, "Untouchability is a serious matter." Actually, untouchability is a serious matter. Lot of hard work will be required to change this. So earlier days concept was that those who are belonging to the lower category people, they will do this work only, and those who are belonging to the higher category or higher caste people, they will not do this kind of work. So this was a kind of untouchability set up mind. Narayan knew that the people who usually did this work were thought to be untouchable. So Narayan knew that. Narayan knew very well, means Babla knew very well. The people, those who are doing such type of work, they were thought to be untouchable. He asked, what is the use if the village people do not change their thinking? So Babla knew very well about this, and he asked to Gandhiji also. We have shown so many demos to the local village people to make them educated and free from this kind of untouchability mind. But if local people or villagers will not change their mindset up, then what is the need of this? Then how we can change their mindset up? They have become used to someone else doing this work for them. So actually they have not changed their mindset up. Besides, they have developed their mindset up in such a way that they means actually villagers are thinking that these few people will only do this work for them every time. So entirely they have learned the opposite things. Gandhiji replied, "Why? Don't you think the people who clean also benefit from it? They also learn a lesson. To learn something is like learning a new skill, even if it is a cleaning job." So Gandhiji replied another way that this kind of cleaning, don't think this is a very poor job or very low category job. Those who are doing this work, they are also getting skilled. Means they are also becoming skillful, they are also becoming efficient in this work, so they can also earn by doing this job, and this is not a very bad job, this is a cleaning job. So what? Little Narayan was not convinced. So after listening such type of reply from Gandhiji, Narayan was not convinced. He again argued, those who make a place dirty but do not clean it should also learn lessons. So Narayan was not convinced. Besides, he told to Gandhiji, those who are not cleaning their own dirt, so how they will clean their society, how they will learn the lesson. So you have learned something from other people. To show this, you have to do the same job for you or for yourself. So if you will not do the same thing for yourself, then how you will make sure the other people that you have also learned from them. So this was the argument, or this kind of argument was going on in between Gandhiji and Narayan. Gandhiji and Narayan continued to argue about this, and they have argued about this topic continuous manner. So but when he grew up, Narayan always followed the path shown by Gandhiji. So when Narayan grew up later on, he followed the path which was shown by Gandhiji. So very interesting and nice story from the book of Gujarati by Narayan Bhai Desai, Saint Charan Raj, Savita and Sahaj. So students, very interesting story you have learned today. So today up to this, thank you and have a nice day.